You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6.
Phase 3 of the rescue mission is happening right now in Thailand this morning. The 10th boy on that soccer team has been safely rescued.
And another day, another roundabout headed here to the Suncoast. We're going to tell you where with our live report. And the president has announced his Supreme Court Justice nominee. We're going to take a look at Brett Kavanaugh. We have those stories, plus your Tuesday forecast. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now.
Good morning. It is July 10th. Glad you're with us. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. And that is John Scalzi right over there with a look at today's weather.
Yeah. Where else would I be at this hour of the morning? We're looking at a few clouds out here in Gulf waters, gradually sinking out into the central Gulf, producing lightning pops, kind of a little bit of a lightning show out there this morning. We'll see that probably for the next hour or two, and then things kind of will die out with this system. But if you are planning an offshore trip this morning, you may encounter a few storms out there. Again, this is all part of the indirectly of the circulation around Tropical Storm Chris, which that's about as much impact as it's going to have on the state of Florida, actually, as that little line of showers out there in the Gulf. Otherwise, we're looking at quiet conditions here locally, and that's the way it's going to be all morning long, quiet and warm. Daytime highs again today will climb up into the low 90s, but only about a 10% chance of a slight shower or so. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, John, talk to you soon. Our live camera right now out at 15th Street and Martin Luther King Avenue. This is in Bradenton. We'll tell you why that camera is there. It involves a possible roundabout right there and a meeting tonight to talk about it. Let's go to the maps right now. Here's a shot of Manatee County, speaking of which. State Road 64 eastbound, some congestion between the Braden River and the interstate. Also 301 southbound as you get near State Road 70. And then our next map will show the northern half of Sarasota County. Some congestion on Fruitville eastbound as you head toward Tuttle. Also Clark Road westbound as you head toward Beneva. And then our final map to the south will show us not much to report at 6:01 on your Tuesday morning.
Well, we begin this morning with the third and final rescue mission already underway. All but two have now been safely removed from that cave in Thailand. Just 2 boys and their coach remain inside. The 10 boys rescued so far are said to be happy and recovering well, although 2 of them do have pneumonia. Now, they're all under quarantine in local hospitals, but some of them have actually been able to see their parents, even though it's been through a glass partition, just to kind of limit the chance of infection.
People who work in infection control always like to quarantine people until they have a full understanding of not only what's going on with the patient, but what's going on with the people who are interacting with that patient.
Now, there is more rain approaching the area, so as of right now, the focus is getting the remaining 2 boys and their coach out as quickly and safely as possible. And tonight, you can watch a special edition of ABC's 2020. It's going to be focusing on the rescue mission in Thailand. Tune in tonight at 9 o'clock right here on ABC 7.
This morning, we have a new Supreme Court nominee. President Trump announced D.C. federal judge Brett Kavanaugh as his pick to replace retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy. The president called Kavanaugh a judge's judge. Kavanaugh served in a key position in the Bush White House, and before that was part of the team that investigated Bill Clinton. Judge Kavanaugh will be meeting with senators today on Capitol Hill, trying to gain support before his confirmation hearings.
Well, today marks the deadline requiring the Trump administration to reunite more than 100 immigrant children with their parents. Now, dozens have been reunited so far, but they also have said that that deadline today isn't able to be met. Reporter Andrew Spencer tells us although the deadline won't be met, the judge who set that deadline is very encouraged by the process so far.
A list provided by the Department of Justice identifies 102 immigrant children under age 5 who were separated from adults at the border. As dozens of kids reunite with their families, dozens more are still being detained. The ACLU, which filed a lawsuit to have all immigrant children reunited with their families, does not expect the Trump administration to face any consequences.
I think we're a long way from the court saying I'm going to sanction the government. I think now he feels like the government is working good faith, finally working to get this reunification done. We're hoping that's right, and it moves forward.
In a court hearing yesterday, the federal judge overseeing the case said he was very encouraged. This is real progress, he said, and I'm optimistic that many of these families will be reunited Tuesday, and then we'll have a very clear understanding as to who has not been reunited, why not, and what time frame will be in place. There are several reasons 46 other kids are not yet being reunited with parents who are in ICE custody. For some of them, it's because their parents aren't in ICE custody anymore. For 9 of those kids, their parents were already released. For another 9, their parents were already deported. For 12 other kids, their parents are in criminal custody. And for 3 of the young children, officials say the adult who was with them when they were detained was not actually their parent. Today's deadline isn't the last. The judge had also ordered the Trump administration to reunite more than 2,000 kids by July 26th. I'm Andrew Spencer, reporting.
Well, another day, another roundabout coming here to the Suncoast. This one on 15th Street and Martin Luther King Avenue in Bradenton.
The state hopes it'll ease congestion through that area. Marla Spence is live there with a preview of an event tonight in Bradenton. Marla?
Hey, good morning, guys. There have been talks about placing a roundabout in this area for some time now, and finally, those talks will soon become a reality in hopes of easing traffic at this intersection. Now, the Florida Department of Transportation says that the new roundabout will be placed on 15th Street and 9th Avenue East. Construction is expected to begin this month on the 23rd. Now, that means that this intersection will be closed for about 6 months to complete the roundabout, and this project is costing a hefty price at $2.1 million. FDOT has plans to remove old asphalt, resurface the roadway, improve drainage and sidewalks, implement lighting, and add new signing and pavement markings. Now tonight, FDOT is urging the community to come out to a public meeting to learn details about the roundabout. When and where that meeting will be, we're going to be telling you coming up at 6:30. Reporting live in Bradenton, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. Well, new developments on a large man-made sinkhole in a Manatee County shopping plaza. The first repairs are finally underway at Cortez East Plaza. Now, that sinkhole has been an issue in the parking lot for at least the past 2 years. Those repairs are expected to cost less than $200,000, but Manatee County has plans to put a lien on that property to make sure that the work gets paid for. The project is expected to be finished by next month.
Another reminder to lock your car doors. Charlotte County Sheriff deputies arrested 3 teenagers for breaking into 9 cars last weekend in Port Charlotte. Surveillance videos taken from a victim's residence that showed 2 suspects driving a black golf cart with special wheels. Detectives arrested 2 juveniles who now face 15 charges each. Another boy was also arrested on lesser charges after giving a statement to detectives. Still ahead, a gator in the Gulf of Mexico?
Like there isn't enough to worry about out there. Now, gators. We're going to tell you which beach this guy was spotted on when we come back.
6:07 right now. Here's a peek outside our window. Interesting ink blot test there. What do you see in the sky, Stephanie?
I see a pizza.
Pizza. All right. What do you got, John?
A cloud.
All right.
Too literal?
He's always.
I guess. Anyway. So if you are headed to the beach today, and it's going to be a great beach day for that, we are looking at a general westerly wind flow developing near the coastline, and only 2 places close by reporting low now amounts of red tide irritants in the air. That's Siesta and Venice. And of course, all of these change again at 10 o'clock as Mote Marine spotters go out there and make their reports. Gasparilla still coming in with a moderate amount of irritant in the air, but a lot of beaches now are looking a lot improved over the course of the last few days. I think that's in part due to that northeasterly wind flow that we've had kind of consistently aloft. As I mentioned, though, we'll catch a little bit of a sea breeze in the afternoon. Headed to the beach, look for a UV index that comes in high again today, about 11 or so, and we'll look for a temperature near the beach at about 89 degrees to top it off, while the rest of us bake in the low 90s. Complete forecast in a minute.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Hello, I'm John Merce. Rugs As Art is celebrating yet another anniversary, and I would personally like to thank each and every one of you for the many years of continuous support. All during the month of July, we're having a grand celebration. We have flooded our showroom with yellow tag specials, meaning more discounts and more savings than ever before, plus free padding. So don't miss this anniversary celebration at Rugs As Art, Sarasota's bigger and better area rug superstore.
My California closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
76 degrees, excuse me, 76 degrees the air temperature with the dew point value coming in at 75. Hot and sticky out there, but enjoy the 76 because we'll spend probably 4 or 5 hours in the 90s today, as we don't have much in the way of cooling rain showers in the forecast for you. We'll look for a 9 a.m. temperature of about 82, and as we head into the noontime hour, boom, we'll hit the 90 mark. We'll stay there throughout the afternoon, topping it out about 92 with only about a 10% chance of a shower, and those will mostly be in inland locations. And then as we head into the evening, we'll dip back down into the 80s. So we have dry air in place, kind of an interesting radar image here. This is Chris. Obviously, your eye drawn to this, spinning around with pretty good, actually, radar presentation at this hour. The eye kind of clearly defined there. It was ragged. Now it's looking pretty impressive. I bet we end up with a hurricane later on today. But anyway, the outflow from that kind of triggering off a line of showers as it encounters the stalled frontal boundary and now pushed out into the Gulf. That's what's bringing us the lightning show out there this morning. Kind of neat. We have quiet conditions here, and we will have quiet conditions. Those showers are a good, 75 to 100 miles offshore right now. So we're not too worried about those coming closer to us as they continue to drift actually a little further away. But they could spawn a shower or two out there if you are planning on an offshore trip this morning. You might encounter some of those showers out there. They could linger for a little while, although the intensity will decrease as they sink south. they'll still be out there through the morning hours. We are watching, of course, Chris, waiting for it to develop into a hurricane. I think it will, but it has little impact on the state of Florida other than bringing up some high surf along the mid-Atlantic. The U.S. won't even see much of an impact from that storm. It will continue to churn out there for several days. We're also watching, of course, what's left over of Beryl. It retains its name, despite the fact that it's no longer a tropical system, because as it lifts northward, it may regenerate. And if it does so, the forecast model tracks continue to show that it lifts north for a period of time and then gets caught up in the same trough that's going to carry Chris out to sea. And so it's, again, no threat to the United States. Could bring a pretty good downpour of rain and maybe some gale kind of conditions for parts of the Bahamas as we head into the weekend. So if you're traveling to the Bahamas, that may be of interest to you. We're watching Chris continuing to spin around well offshore of the mid-Atlantic, 70-mile-an-hour winds. Wouldn't be a bit surprised to see that become a hurricane. It only needs a few more miles per hour to become one. Northeast motion at 2, so it's basically stationary. It gets picked up by a trough of low pressure and whisked rapidly out into the cold waters of the cooler northern currents and just falls apart by the time we hit the weekend. So what will we see? Well, this stalled frontal boundary will be replaced by a trough from the west. We'll have this northeasterly wind flow continuing today around the circulation of Chris. We'll watch a little trough of low pressure advance up from the Caribbean close to Cuba and then lift northward through the Florida Keys today. And a high pressure ridge build in from the west that will provide us with eventually a westerly wind flow. Put it into motion, you'll watch all of that start to come together. Lots of little ingredients there. Basically, it means better weekend rain chances. But for today, we stay dry. Sunny throughout the day, mostly dry conditions across really the state of Florida, and better weekend rain chances as we bump up the rain chance from about a 10% to 40% or so. So northwest wind coming in at about 10 knots today. Nice boating weather near shore, light chop, 2-foot seas, that sort of thing. 92 our temperature today and tomorrow, and probably the day after, pretty close to, with a 10 to maybe 20% chance of showers as we head into Thursday. Over the weekend, those ingredients I just showed you on the surface map kind of tend to come together, and we'll up the rain chance to about 40% for Saturday and Sunday. Maybe knock a few degrees off the temperature, I'll take it, because of the extra cloud cover and the chance of those cooling afternoon rain showers. And then next week we'll keep it at about a 40% chance of showers. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Let's take a look at your first alert traffic out there this morning. So far on your commute, it's not a bad one. In Manatee County, there are just our normal amount of delays. 301 is seeing a lot of delays and a lot of traffic so far this morning, especially around the usual area of State Road 70. Then in Sarasota County, those roads aren't looking too bad just yet. Most of those are running pretty smooth, even those areas off of 75 where we normally come off and see a little delay. But everything's running pretty smooth in the north half of the county. In the southern half of Sarasota, those roads are looking good too. 75 and 41 are both running very smoothly if you're headed south. It is 6:17, and that is your first alert traffic. Oh, we're going to need a bigger boat. Oh, wait, wrong creature with big giant teeth in the water. Check out this gator swimming in the Gulf. Now, it is the second time in just a few weeks that we've seen an alligator swimming on the beach. I don't know, maybe they're on summer vacation too. This one was actually spotted in Boca Grande on Lighthouse Beach. Nope. Not swimming there.
Yeah, it puts the red tide in perspective suddenly.
I know, suddenly that seems like a much better option.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Johnny Depp goes rogue, Drake makes history, and Harvey Weinstein is in cuffs.
ABC's Jason Nathan has our entertainment roundup.
A bunch of new chart records for Drake. His new album Scorpion just debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 album chart, his 8th straight to do so. It set a record for the most streams ever in 1 week, and it had the biggest sales week of the year so far. Also, the album has 7 of the top 10 songs on the singles chart. That breaks the previous record of 5, set by the Beatles in 1964. Disgraced former movie mogul Harvey Weinstein says he's not guilty to sex crime charges in New York that now include a new 3rd woman. He entered the plea Monday, and his attorney Ben Brafman says they have more than just Weinstein's word.
We have corroborative evidence in the form of witnesses.
Weinstein is now free on bail but under house arrest, facing a maximum sentence of life in prison. Johnny Depp being sued for allegedly going gangster on the set of his upcoming Tupac Biggie murder movie, City of Lies. The location manager on the movie says Depp was directing a scene. He told Depp to wrap it up because their permit had expired. Then he says Depp punched him a couple of times.
This is sudden.
And happy birthday Tuesday to Modern Family mom Sofia Vergara, turning 46. And Oscar-nominated actor Chiwetel Ejiofor turns 41. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Athenson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast.
It is the largest Crime Stoppers reward ever offered in this one city. We're going to tell you just why this story is different. Plus, Marla?
This month, construction for a new roundabout on 15th Street and 9 Avenue East will be happening in just this month. But before it does, the Florida Department of Transportation wants people who live or commute in this area to come out to a public meeting. More on that meeting is coming up at 6:30.
6:19 right now, a high of 92 degrees today. Pretty sunrise in progress. Beautiful sky. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs right at home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call right at home. Get the right care right at home.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Welcome back. 623. Nice shot there of Sarasota Bay and Longboat Key off in the distance, and 10th Street in the foreground. 623 on Good Morning Suncoast. Garth Brooks will entertain the Fighting Irish. Yeah, the country legend is planning the first ever concert at the Notre Dame football stadium. No word yet as to when. They're waiting for the schedule to be released first for the team. He plans to play some songs from his upcoming album when he plays in Indiana.
Well, a city outside Atlanta is now offering its biggest Crime Stoppers reward ever. Police there are hoping it's enough for someone to come forward about the brutal murder of a grandmother.
ABC's Maggie Ruley has our story.
In this morning's GMA First Look, police releasing this chilling surveillance video showing a man lurking outside a Georgia home where a 71-year-old grandmother was murdered in cold blood. An intruder stabbing Kay Thomason in the neck. Investigators say on the night of June 27th in a sleepy suburb north of Atlanta.
I don't know how long she's been dead.
A family friend making the horrific discovery, calling 911.
There is there's blood all over the place. There's like sharp change. There's a broken mirror, broken okay. Like someone broke into this house.
We're here today to ask for your help. Our mom is such a loving member of this community.
The Thomason family is desperate for clues. The city's now increasing the reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction in the case. And we'll have the latest on the investigation coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Maggie Bruley, ABC News, New York.
And now for the rings.
Gonna get married. Going to the chapel and we're
I'm a 4-year-old ring bearer with a bad habit of swallowing stuff.
I still won't eat my broccoli, though.
And if you don't have the right coverage, you could be paying for that pricey love band yourself.
So get an Allstate agent and be better protected from mayhem like me. Can a ring bearer get a snack around here?
Technology stocks extended their gains Wednesday.
That snack just sounded boring. Coming through. No photos, please. Bye-bye, Bland. Hello, delicious.
Rich, creamy, 100% real cheese. With Mini Baby Bell, snack time is saved.
Saved it.
Don't miss Macy's Black Friday in July, because it's never too early for incredible deals. Plus, take an extra 25% off with your Macy's Carter Savings Pass. Drop everything and hurry in. With prices this low, these deals won't last long. Now at Macy's.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live.
I live.
She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases.
Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6:30.
More rescues out of that Thailand cave this morning. 3 more boys have been rescued. We've got an update on their health as well.
The president has announced his Supreme Court nominee. A closer look at federal judge Brett Kavanaugh.
And another day, another roundabout headed here to the Suncoast. We're going to tell you where this one is in our live report. We've got that plus your forecast. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning to you. It is 6:29 on this Tuesday morning. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. July the 10th, and John Scalzi has details of some dry air in our area.
Yes, dry and hot today, it looks like. Al in Northport comes in with 77 degrees. So does Cooper in central Sarasota, has the same temperature. Becky in Omayaka, cooler, of course, with 69 degrees. Always cooler in Omayaka at her Becky's house. Looking at a line of showers kind of moving out into central Gulf waters. That it's of no consequence to our weather here locally. You might see, though, some flashes of lightning and certainly some towering clouds off in the distance in Gulf waters, but those really shouldn't bother us. They continue on a drift that slowly takes them out into the central Gulf, where they're eventually just going to dissipate. But locally, we don't have much in the way of any kind of rainfall ongoing. You can see those lightning pops, though. They've become pretty frequent and noticeable out there in the Gulf. But again, they're about 100 miles away from us, so no real issue. Locally, quiet conditions. The general drift of these showers is south and a little bit of a drift to the west as well, but the tendency for them is to kind of fall apart as they do that. Today, again, warm with hours on hours of temperatures in the 90s this afternoon. 92 the daytime high with only a 10% chance of showers. That's about it. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Our live camera this morning is in Manatee County at 15th Street and Martin Luther King Avenue. That is where a roundabout is going to go in. And there's a meeting tonight about that for those who are concerned. Details of that on the way. But first, let's check the maps. There is an issue right now on I-75 southbound at State Road 64, exit 220. Plenty of construction going on there right now on a diverging diamond, so be aware of that. And so far, it doesn't look like there's any backups in the southbound lanes. Checking farther south now, this is the scene in the northern half of Sarasota County, Bee Ridge Road westbound from the interstate over Cattleman toward Honore and all the way to Beneva, so be aware of that congestion there on Bee Ridge Road. And then our final map to the south, nothing much to speak of right now at 6:31 on your Tuesday morning.
Well, it is a story that we have been following closely for you all morning. The final rescue mission is underway right now in Thailand. More rescues have happened all throughout the morning. Just one teen and the soccer coach are now left. ABC's Candace Gibson has the latest on the health of those boys that are being brought out.
This morning, the final push to free the remaining soccer players and their coach.
Many people are coming.
Most of the 12 boys are now free, described in good spirits, but some are suffering health complications. Doctors say 2 of them possibly have a lung infection, and 2 others may have blood infections. But doctors say the players have strong immune systems because they're athletes. The rescued boys will be hospitalized for at least 7 days and can only see their parents through a glass wall pending blood tests.
People who work in infection control always like to quarantine people until they have a full understanding of not only what's going on with the patient, but what's going on with the people who are interacting with that patient.
For the boys who have little or no swimming experience, let alone cave diving experience, getting them out is a difficult task. The divers implemented a buddy system to escort each of the boys out. A lead diver tethered to each boy carries their oxygen tank. The rear diver helps navigate them through the twisting maze and tight underwater passages. Once outside the cave, they're first checked at a field hospital. Then waiting ambulances and helicopters bring them to a hospital 35 miles away, where an entire floor has been set aside to treat them. One of the survivors turned 16 during his time in the cave. His uncle tells us the family had gotten him a birthday cake, and they hope to celebrate when the entire team is safe. Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
And tonight you can watch a special edition of ABC's 2020 all about this rescue mission in Thailand. Tune in tonight at 9 o'clock right here on ABC 7.
In a primetime event last night, President Trump announced D.C. federal judge Brett Kavanaugh as his pick to replace retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy on the U.S. Supreme Court. Earlier in his career, Judge Kavanaugh served in a key position in the Bush 43 White House and was also part of the Kenneth Starr team that investigated President Clinton before that. Today, Kavanaugh will meet with senators on Capitol Hill. One big issue, of course, is whether he would be the swing vote to overturn Roe v. Wade.
Well, today marks the deadline imposed by a federal judge requiring the Trump administration to reunite more than 100 immigrant children with their parents after they were separated at the U.S.-Mexico border. Dozens of kids have already been reunited with their parents, but there are still dozens more that haven't yet. The reason? Well, there are a few. Some of the parents are no longer in ICE custody. Some have been released. Some have actually been deported back to Mexico. Some are even in criminal custody. And for a small number of those kids, the people that were posing as their parents when they crossed the border were in fact not their parents at all.
Back in this area, an update now on that mission group from the Woodland Community Church in Bradenton. They're finally back home after being stranded in Haiti. 28 young missionaries were supposed to come home Saturday night, but because of the violent protests in Haiti over fuel prices, they didn't get home till last night. It was a joyous reunion, though, with family and friends, although it was a long day that began in Port-au-Prince and took the group to Miami and Orlando and then Tampa last night. They were all happy they'll be back home in Bradenton.
Didn't see any rioting or protesting where we were, thankfully, and so we just made the decision to turn the bus around and head back to the My Life Speaks campus where we knew we were safe. And it's a good thing we did because our flight ended up being canceled.
We left like really early in the morning to like miss all of it, but they just decided that like up the road wouldn't be safer later in the day, so we decided to turn around and just like stay there for a couple more days.
They spent a week in Haiti on a mission trip to help physically challenged children.
Well, we've heard for a while now that more roundabouts are being planned for the Suncoast. The latest, 15th Street and Martin Luther King in Bradenton.
Marla Spence is live there with a preview of an event tonight about this roundabout. Marla?
Good morning, guys. In a little under 2 weeks, this intersection at 15th Street and 9th Avenue East will be closed to traffic because the Florida Department of Transportation will be constructing a new roundabout at that intersection. Now, many who live or commute near the intersection know that this area can get really congested during rush hour traffic hours because many use that road as a shortcut to get to State Road 64 or US 301. Now, to help with the congestion, FDOT found it necessary to place a roundabout in this area. Now, construction is expected to start the week of July 23rd. In an effort of getting the community informed on all the details surrounding the new roundabout, FDOT is hosting a public meeting tonight between 6 to 8. That meeting will take place at Rogers Community Methodist Church, and at that meeting, FDOT will be giving drivers the opportunity to ask questions about the roundabout and make comments about the project that'll start in late July, which is this month, and wrap up around spring of next year. Reporting live in Bradenton, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Marla. Well, toxic green slime. It is all part of an algae bloom in Lake Okeechobee. Governor Rick Scott has now issued an emergency order to help some of the counties that have been affected by it. Now, the order that Scott signed on Monday is going to give the state environmental and tourism agencies more resources to respond to the algae problem. Now, some of those algae blooms in the lake have been a problem for years now. It's fed by nutrients from cattle ranches and farms that surround the country's second largest natural freshwater lake. Now, Scott's order authorizes water releases south of the lake instead of down the rivers that empty into the Gulf and the Atlantic.
It's the picture everyone's talking about. An update now on that massive alligator suspected in the deaths of 2 dogs in Venice. It has been caught. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission captured the 13-foot gator, calling it one of the biggest they've ever seen. They captured it at Shamrock Park in Venice. That's exactly where a gator killed a dog last week, and another German Shepherd still has not been found.
Gator hotspot right down there. It's a nature reserve, and even in the neighborhood right next door, we have gators and ponds.
FWC tells us that it should be about 2 more days whether or not this gator was the same one that killed the 1 dog and possibly 2 dogs.
Well, ironically, we need more gator hunters. That's the message from Florida Fish and Wildlife. They're making more than 1,000 hunting permits available for alligator harvest. Now, each person with a permit is going to be allowed to take 2 gators as long as they are not babies. Now, you can apply for one of these permits. It all starts today. To find out how you can become a certified gator hunter, just head online to our website, mysuncoast.com.
All right, watch your screens now. Check out this meteor that flashed across the Midwestern sky. Here we go, John Scalzi. You can see it as a bright flicker inside this highlighted circle. An amateur astronomer captured it on a video with a surveillance camera in his yard. The American Meteor Society, yes there is one, says the fireball mostly flew over Iowa and Illinois. People in other states like Minnesota, Indiana, and Ohio also say they saw the meteor as well.
Still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, actor George Clooney, he's recovering.
A motorcycle crash, the latest in his condition this morning when we come back. But first, it is 6:39 right now, and here's a shot live from Thailand, where it's been a very eventful morning.
It has. They've been doing rescues all morning. They're down to just one boy and the coach that are still left in the cave. They're trying to get them all out and to the hospital before more rain set in. So we're going to keep you updated on the situation as it moves. It's been a lot of rescues this morning.
A lot of rescues. Not a lot of rain in this area, though, John Scalzi.
No, not in this area. We're looking at some pretty quiet conditions. In fact, none of the inclement weather boxes checked for your morning drive time forecast. Looking at a trip out to work with temperatures in the mid-70s, mild, humid. On the way back, it's going to be hot, no doubt about it. Those ACs will be cranking. Maybe an inland storm, maybe about a 10% chance of that. That's it. All airport hubs serving Sarasota Bradenton International running on time once again this morning, according to the FAA. We'll have the complete forecast for you in just a moment.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Now your ABC ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
We have some very pretty conditions out there. A lot of sunshine to greet you this morning as dawn breaks on the Suncoast, 76 degrees. Our heat index, which is the same as the air temperature. Dew point value coming in warm at 75. We have an east wind that continues to blow at about 3. That east wind keeping showers that are offshore. And they won't be bothering us this morning. For your morning commute, we stay dry. Temperature at 9 a.m. about 82 degrees. As we head into lunchtime hour, we'll be pretty close to the 90-degree mark if we haven't hit it. And then as we head into the afternoon, there'll be several hours in a row, maybe 5 of temperatures in the 90s without much in the way of any kind of cooling showers in the afternoon, only about a 10% chance of that. As we head into the evening, temperatures will fall into the 80s. We're looking at a very, very pretty day. We still have Chris, which continues to spin around. Still a tropical storm right now, although it's almost a hurricane. Last few frames, we're seeing some explosions of thunderstorms on the outer edges of the system. We may be seeing a little bit of a developing eye wall replacement there. We'll see. Also, showers out in Gulf waters continue to press further away from us. You may see a flash or two of lightning. We're quiet here locally. The nearest showers, as I mentioned, are way out there in the Gulf, almost 100 miles out, 80 miles out. There is Chris. Chris has had some pretty good thunderstorm development overnight and kind of wrapping around the center of circulation. The eye very clearly defined on radar, as I just showed you. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we have a hurricane here developing a little bit later on today. I thought we'd see one yesterday, but the pressures and the wind speeds held. Still a very powerful tropical storm, only about 5 miles away from a hurricane classification. So we'll wait, we'll see. There's the coastline of the United States, of course, and there's Chris. It's a good distance out. The drift is very slow, so it's basically a stationary system. And we also have Beryl down to our south. The circulation around Chris driving down some drier air across the state of Florida. That's what that tan color is there. And so consequently, it's going to reduce our rain chances just a little bit. The second system we continue to watch is what was a tropical cyclone, now just a cluster of clouds. That's Beryl, of course. Its forecast is to lift north. As it does that up toward the Bahamas, it could develop once again, regenerate, so to speak. And if it does that, it probably won't be much more than just a strong gale through the Bahamas over the weekend. But nevertheless, it could regenerate, and then it will be cast out to sea, along with Chris. Both of them being caught by an upper-level trough of low pressure. 70-mile-an-hour winds, tropical storm Chris continues to spin with a very slow drift right now, forecast to accelerate rapidly right along with Beryl out into the open waters of the Atlantic, where it really bothers no one. But it will kick up the shore waters along the mid-Atlantic coast and maybe lead to some coastal erosion there, certainly some rip currents. The winds around Chris is producing a few scattered showers out in the Gulf. That will continue. Eventually, we'll see a trough pick these systems up, carry them out, high pressure build in, and another little trough down to the south, maybe bring us some better rain chances as we head into the weekend. See how it all plays out. We're looking for today a northwest wind at about 10 knots, decreasing to 5 overnight. Nice day out there on the waters, especially near shore. Further out, of course, you'll have some of those showers out there. 10% chance of showers for the next couple of days, maybe increasing to 20% for a day or two. And then as we head into the weekend, the combination of all factors bringing us a 40% chance of rain showers, which will carry into the beginning of next work week. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, John. Let's check out your first alert traffic out there. We do have one accident in Manatee County to tell you about. There's an accident in the southbound lane of I-75 right there at exit 220. It's affecting all the the exits in that area right there at State Road 64. Again, that's I-75. There's an accident in the southbound lane at all of the exits right there, 220, 220A, 220B at State Road 64. Then in Sarasota County, those roads aren't looking too bad. Just our normal amount of delays as you're coming off of 75 and onto some of those main roads, as well as 41. It's running a little bit slower. And then, of course, a little bit farther south in the area, if you're headed toward the Port Charlotte area, 75 and 41 are still running pretty smooth so far this morning. It is 6:48. That's your first alert traffic. Well, let's get right to a developing story right now out of Rome, where actor George Clooney is recovering after being involved in a motorcycle crash. Now, Clooney was reportedly on his way to a movie set when his motorcycle was hit by a car. He was taken to a local hospital in Sardinia and later released.
The International House of Burgers is no more. The short-lived IHOB. We'll go back to its original name, IHOP. There it goes. Earlier this summer, the chain announced it was changing its P for pancakes to B for burgers. The company now admits it was all a publicity stunt for its new menu, and apparently that stunt is still working this morning.
I hope somebody in the marketing department gets a raise, because that was a good one.
Yeah.
One California couple wasn't going to let a silly thing like a wildfire ruin their special day. Ellie and Taylor were trying to tie the knot when the wildfire here caused a change in their wedding plans. And when the couple saw the fire quickly approaching their wedding site, they knew they had to begin the ceremony. Even without most of their guests, the couple cut the 30-minute ceremony down to just 5 minutes. Quickly said, I do.
Yeah.
Me too. Got out of there. Started the evacuation. After reaching the safety of a local hotel, the couple began the celebration, but not before restating all of their vows in front of their guests, with some big memories from that day.
A red hot start to that marriage. I bet the congregation liked the shorter ceremony anyway.
Yes, yes, they did, Ray.
We'll update the day's top 7 headlines.
That includes a final look at your Tuesday forecast and your first look at the new trailer for Orange is the New Black. We got it.
Look at the new sky outside our studio right now. Pretty pastel
gorgeous.
colors. Should be a dry day, high of 92. Your top 7 headlines are next.
My California closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California closet's story.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here, because
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Imagine a world filled with pillow fights, playgrounds, and the search for the perfect climbing tree. Every kid deserves that world, but 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger. At No Kid Hungry, we're committed to creating a world where every kid eats healthy food every day. We raise funds, we help families, and we lift up communities.
Coming up on Good Morning America, inside Nordstrom's answer to Amazon. Could they be creating the store of the future? And we'll have that story for you in just a bit. Well, it is 6:53, and we're moving on. Here is your top 7 at 7.
First off, John Scalzi's first alert weather forecast.
So what to take with you out the door? I'd say sunglasses and a water bottle because it is going to be another hot one today. Hours with temperatures in the 90s this afternoon. Currently it's 76 degrees. Warm, humid afternoon with feels like of 100 to 105 and better weekend rain chances. And don't forget, we're always available for you on our weather app. Just search for WWSB on your app store. And mysuncoast.com, Facebook, and social media all have our forecasts for you. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Number 2, we're continuing to watch an ongoing situation on I-75 southbound, an accident at exit 220 there. No congestion showing so far on the map, so should be a good commute right now. That's a scene in Manatee County.
And number 3, the Thailand cave rescue mission is down to just one boy, and the soccer coach left. Now, those rescues have been going on all morning, and we're going to give you the latest updates on air and online as well.
Number 4, federal judge Brett Kavanaugh will make the rounds today on Capitol Hill. Last night, President Trump announced the 54-year-old as his nominee to replace Justice Anthony Kennedy on the U.S. Supreme Court.
And number 5, today is the deadline set by a federal judge requiring the Trump administration to reunite more than 100 immigrant children with their parents after they were separated at the U.S.-Mexico border.
Number 6, back in this area, a state DOT meeting tonight to talk about a new roundabout in Bradenton. This is a live shot of that area in question. Construction is due to begin for 15th Street East and Martin Luther King. The workshop is tonight from 6 to 8 at the Rogers Community Methodist Church.
And number 7, what's trending? A show that both Ray and I can agree on for a change. Netflix has finally released the brand new trailer last night for the new season of Orange is the New Black. Season 6, Ray, it starts this month, July 27th. Whole different story, though. No more Litchfield, Piper, Crazy Eyes, Big Red. They're all going to maximum security prison. It's a whole new game. I'm going to stream the whole trailer on my Facebook page right after the show because that's how excited I am about this show.
Did you see that show, John?
Have you seen Orange is the New Black yet?
Yeah.
Oh, John, it's so good. This is like the one show we totally agree on.
I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, here's what happened. It began really good.
Yeah, it did
and then
very
it
good.
went downhill.
Last season, not so great.
Yeah.
But this season looks a lot better, so I got big hopes for it.
Even the founder of the show admits it went downhill.
Yeah, she got a little wonky in that last season, so better things on the way.
Stay cool. Should be a hot one. 6:56 right now. We'll see you at 7:25 with our next news update.